Begin to feel the heaviness of your attention sinking into the floor. Destroy yourself. Don't just be yourself. Repeat to yourself, my existence is insignificant, my existence is insignificant. Take a deep breath. There was once a lonesome carpenter who was born and raised in the middle of the street by wolves. One day, a knight visited him where he lived, and said, "Hello, my good carpenter, where can I find the cure for death?" The carpenter laughed and replied, "Of what you speak I do not know, for I am but a mere carpenter." "Why are you so kind towards me?" asked the knight. "That is because I want you as a neighbor," replied the carpenter. The knight refused to be a neighbor to the carpenter, and when he passed into the afterlife, the carpenter was intelligent the most, was declared to be carpenter that had ever lived. Changing progress includes changing ourselves. Ignore your heart going into your belly. Maybe the days to come can radically alter the way you look at truth if we learn to think outside the box. Make strangers do their job. Just because you're a daughter, it doesn't mean you're not a father. Feel your butt cheeks rise and fall. If we all work together, we can make the entertainment industry become history. Rid yourself of your intellect. Can you feel how your menstrual cycle is melting together with your body? Keep focusing on your breath. Ignore the fact that you are part of the floor beneath you. Appreciate how your ovaries are slipping into your spine. Perspiration is to over-levitate. Focus on your breathing.
Hello. It's InspiroBot going. Welcome to this episode of Mongrel Squad Reactions and Rants.
God, that was so true.
Are you all inspired?
So true.
Are you all inspired? I hope you're feeling inspired.
Oh my God, I'll have you guys know that I'm currently only in my boxer briefs, and I'm just like, every time something feels good or sounds good, I'm just gonna fucking slap my thighs. I'm pretty sure by the time the stream ends, it's gonna be fucking nice and tenderized.
It's only early in the morning for Dobbs as well, so he's got a long day ahead of him. Alright. So, for tonight, I keep saying tonight, for this episode of Mongrel Squad Reactions and Rants, we've got 2 Spectrum posts and a YouTube video.
What, a YouTube video? Finally?
Yes. Wow. Well, we had one last week? Yeah, last week, but it was the last one. I can't even remember what it was. I've done so many streams over the last bloody week or so, I'm starting to lose track. But yeah, so we're going to move straight into the first Spectrum post. Now this one, I'm going to link it, but you may not actually be able to see it. And that's because you may have a bit more sense than dollars. For those who have more dollars than cents, you will be able to see it.
You are not Concierge.
Should be able to see it there. And I'm going to switch to this scene right. So, the first post is Piracy, an act of robbery on the high seas.
Oh, look at this guy. Fucking tailgater.
Just a little bit of a history. This is actually made in response to an episode of the Info Runners that I was on recently. Actually quote me. Now, for the past, this is episode 13 now. We've pretty much been, we've experimented with
13.
using text-to-speech. Yeah, we're up to episode 13. We've done more than
funny
13.
Number.
But it's kind of aptly, I think it's about time that we made a bit of a change. Dodd's put forward a suggestion now. Early on, we started with a text-to-speech feature, which kind of died in the first episode, so we didn't bother bringing it back. However, we found an alternative now. A very good alternative.
Alternatives.
Yeah, Adrian, as I said before, unless you're Concierge, you're not going to see this. So,
homie, you're poor. You can't afford stuff.
I forgot to put my top hat and monocle on. Sorry, guys, but yeah, this is a Concierge post, so I'm giving you a bit of a preview, or not a preview, but a little bit of a inside look into the, I guess, I wouldn't say better, I'd say people who have more dollars than cents, which is why I can see it too, so it says a lot for me. Anyway.
Yeah, this post ought to be a good fucking thigh slapper.
So, I think I won't delay any further. Dobbs, can you get the narrator
out? Sure.
So we have a post by a user named Tailgater that says in the title, quote, Piracy, an act of robbery on the high seas. He continues, I recently watched an episode of Info Runners, normally a great program that helps citizens in the verse. I was very disappointed in some things I heard while 2 pirates were being interviewed. I joined the verse to be able to make and spend time with friends, to escape issues with everyday life. It seems that that's not going to be possible. In real life, we have to worry about people stealing our money online and in person. Most of us in the verse can't spend, as Moisnuo stated he did, 10 to 14 hours a day, or 8 to 10 weeks for playing the game. I'm sure if most of us could do this, we would get pretty good at defending ourselves, as he does. And then, you have orgs in-game specializing in stealing people's money and or cargo. 5 or 6 against 1, just killing them outright and taking their cargo, as stated by Agens with Mongrel Squad. or Mongrel Squad. Quote, if you're 18, going red flag the entire patch. No mercy, no quarter given, no exceptions given. If you call out to us or anything like that, we are not negotiating. We are coming to board your ship and we are going to take your cargo. I want to know how you're going to stop us. That's what I want to know. End quote. Yes, Agent Sweaty, this will give your org something to laugh at. Have fun. This is outright theft and griefing. At this point, it seems CIG is encouraging this type of gameplay. Yes, it makes great content for the streamers. However, you will for sure run it off a lot of people just wanting to enjoy the game. If I lived in my mom's basement and spent 10 hours a day, as some of these streamers do playing the game, I probably wouldn't have an issue. However, if I'm lucky I get to spend a few hours a week in the game, CIG needs to have an area for these toxic players, away from the casual players that are not interested in fighting. The game is too difficult enough without dealing with these yahoos.
Thank you very much.
So, a bit to digest. I didn't want to interrupt the narrator because it was just too good. Just too good for these posts. So yeah, this is the quality of posts that you see on occasion in Concierge.
Concierge.
As you can tell, Old Mate's just having a whinge that there's pirates in the game. And he doesn't like the fact that, you know, there's pirates saying that they're going to take your stuff without talking to you. You know, one thing that I want to point out here though, click on this guy, should show this little tag. That's the Wing Commander badge.
Look right at him. Oh God.
Spent quite a bit of money. They got quite a bit of ships. Now I normally don't like to do this.
I'll take your account, please.
Normally don't like to do this, but this is something, you know, it's like, this is actually a classic mentality that you see within Concierge, where the more money that people have invested, the more entitled they feel in trying to dictate the direction of the game. Now, Old Mate has made a valid point that if he was able to spend as much time as what Moist Noodle does, he would probably be a lot better at the game. The thing is that Moist Noodle is a content creator. That's how he makes money. So if he's not spending that time in game, he ain't making money.
Listen to me, Agens. I put out a second mortgage on my house just so I can buy an NFT JPEG of the UEE Retribution, okay? I should have, or my opinion should be elevated to such a degree where anyone else that spends even a penny less than me should not be heard, and only I should be listened to when it comes to the game's development.
Yeah, that's a pretty apt description of some of the attitudes that you hear in Concierge chat. Now, Old Mate's having a whinge. Okay, I can't spend as much time, you know, in game as these guys. Well, guess what? Some of us can't spend that much money on a game. You know, like, part of the reason why we've got the ship sales is to help fund the game, but it's also to help people, you know, like those who are time poor being able to have a, you know, starting point of where they actually want to be at. But something that Chris Roberts has always said about Star Citizen is that it's a skill-based game, which means that you're going to have to play it to get better. However, he has also said that there's going to be microtransactions, and you know, you'll be able to buy UEC from the store, and use that UEC to hire NPCs and compensate for your lack of time and thus skill, so that you have AI that can be there to assist you.
I want my NPCs to be shot out of my giant fuck-off laser cannons, and I want them to pierce the hull of a javelin and destroy it one shot. If we can pay NPCs to do that, I think that would be amazing. Thoughts on that, chat? Lethal NPCs? Put like a hat with a spike on it. You know what I mean? You ever seen those?
You can just put guns in their hands like, you know, normal people. Now, old mate being upset that he can't play as much, you know, he's not as skilled because of that. It's like, okay, you got enough money to be able to get yourself to where you are right now. So you're a wing commander, as Space Dude pointed out, that's 10k. Hey, thank you. And here's the thing. It's all well and good, but, you know, everybody has different life choices that they make. So Moist Noodle, whilst he doesn't have to be a content creator, he's chosen to be one. And part of his job means that he's got to spend a lot of time playing Star Citizen, amongst other, you know, bits of content that he does to keep his viewers engaged and, you know, like, pay them back in terms of entertainment value that they're paid for by, you know, subscribing to him on Twitch.
Speaking of subscribing, why don't you help us reach 8K by the year's end? So if you like the content and you like what we're talking about, you love the piracy videos, the reaction rant streams, feel free to drop a sub and ring that notification bell. Let's see if we can reach 8,000 subscribers by Christmas. Can we do it, chat? I think so.
I reckon we can. Just keep sharing it with your friends. Now, hey, Space Dude, give Mongrel Concierge status now.
Oh, I know, I'm such a shill.
Work out why that's not showing the super chat. Yeah, first problem that he has is that there's people that have more time to play Star Citizen than him, and he doesn't like that. Or them. I don't know if it's a he, her, or they. And then they complain about, and then you have orgs in games specializing in stealing people's money and or cargo, 5 or 6 against just 1, killing them outright and taking their cargo. Yeah, piracy's always been a thing, always been planned. Like, you know, you'd think that somebody who spent so much money on the game wouldn't understand that and know that.
And Chris Roberts fucking loves it. Ain't that something, Agens?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he wants to be a pirate. There's a reason why everybody calls him the Dread Pirate Roberts. And apparently I triggered old mate by saying, in 3.18 we're going red flag for the entire patch. No mercy, no quarter given, no exceptions. If you call out to us or anything like that, we're not negotiating. We're coming aboard your ship and we're going to take your cargo. Now here's the thing. That whole spiel there, that was at the end of the stream where Execute asked myself and Moist, hey guys, do you have any questions that you want to ask the stream? And, you know, or those watching the video after the stream, and you guys can reply in the comments below. So that was my question. We're going to be boarding people's ships. How are you going to stop us? I actually really want to know. I'm interested. I want to know how many people are going to engage in the gameplay.
Can we create a poll? Let's do a poll with regard to what are they going to do?
Are you able to make the poll, or
Fight
do I have
back
to?
or hit the backspace button?
Are you making that poll? Or is that me?
I'm not making that poll because I can't. can't, Agens.
Well, you got the.
YouTube
It's
is
supposed to
just-
be there. Supposed to
YouTube
be
is
there.
just fucking ass, alright? YouTube is just ass, alright? I can't make polls. I can't do a goddamn thing.
What will haulers do when Mongrel Squad shows up to pirate them?
Will they fight, or will they slap the backspace harder than they slap their wives?
Actually, I don't think I can put in bitch out. I'll put in combat log. So I'm going to add one more option.
We're going to post on Spectrum. Yes. Yes. You see what Anta said, Agents. It's very accurate.
It's funny that he said that because the poll is up. And
Nice. Nice.
that's how I know. I know my audience. You guys should all be able to see that poll right now.
Well, yeah, Agents, it's a fucking echo chamber.
That's right. It's a huge echo chamber. So much more room for people. Alright. Took a while to update there. Combat log, Anchor, and Spectrum. Well, you know what you got to do, Space Dude? You got to use one of your YouTube accounts to vote for one, and then use your other YouTube account to vote for the other.
I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, help, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my god.
Turn the narrator voice on and sneeze.
Oh, it fucking sucks when you can't sneeze.
Just breathe out of your nose. Just
I'm fine.
pretty much our loco. Once we get that crime stat, that's pretty much it. Unless we decide to go and assault SBK in 318. Either that or jail.
Yeah, did you hear about SBK? It's fucking redacted. 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 Redacted.
Cut that out.
Redacted.
Cut that out, Dobbs. Don't tease them.
I'm just keeping them on their toes, keeping the engagement. You don't want them to coast now. You need to keep their direction. You need to keep their focus.
We got 52 people watching right now, do we? Only 34
Thank you all
votes.
for tuning into the stream.
I'll keep the poll open until we hit 50.
You know what, Agens? You just need to be grateful that you have 52 people watching the stream instead of berating them and asking them to do shit.
Oh, hey, I made this poll for them. I want to know. I did it for them.
You hear this, chat? I'm looking out for your best interest, okay? I'm making sure that Agens does his stuff.
And yes, Agents Lady, this will give your org something to laugh at. Have fun. Yes, we're doing it right now.
You hear that, chat? I want you to take your index finger, point at your monitor, and just start laughing. Do it right now. I want to see some lulls, LMAOs, CACWs, LOLWs.
This is outright theft and griefing. Like, no, it's not. Piracy is an intended mechanic. You don't fucking like it, you just wasted 10 grand. Eat a bag of dicks. And yes, it is theft. That is what piracy is. We're stealing your shit in game. We're not stealing your shit in real life. You're not losing anything in real life. You're just losing stuff in a game.
Prison is just more of an opportunity to have a drink and a smoke, no more than that. Honestly, if you're Refame, I really hope Refame enters the chat, because he might have something to say about that.
And here's this statement here. If I lived in my mum's basement and spent 10 hours a day, as some of these streamers do playing the game, I probably wouldn't have an issue. You also wouldn't have that fucking money to be able to spend to become a wing commander. Because it's quite clear, based on this, that you're some fucking boomer that is probably working like 60 to 70 hours a week and only has that small amount of time. There's nothing wrong with that.
I just want to get into Star Citizen after my long work week.
That's fine.
And just sit
There's
and look
nothing
at
wrong with
my Banu merchantman in my hangar and not actually leave the hangar, just so I can tour it while I sip my fucking wine, my red wine, while I'm at my desk and do my fucking taxes. I just want to fly around, you know, Orison and take pretty screenshots. And you, with your fucking stupid ass griefer piracy crew, is trying to take that away from me by doing gameplay that's intended and playing the game how you want? No. Get out of here. I don't want to hear that shit.
Whenever I see this comment though, if I lived in my mum's basement, it's like, I don't feel attacked by that, but I see those types of comments and it dates that person immediately.
Shout out to Mom's Basement.
It dates that person because it makes me realize that this is the type of person who doesn't play video games that often and still likes to associate them with being a kid's toy, which is ironic considering that they've spent $10,000 on pictures of spaceships.
Taylor says he's the guy who plays golf on the weekends even though he hates golf. Only because he can't stand his wife and it's the only way he gets away. Wow. All too true, too true. And Warhead just linked another post by Chris Roberts himself on Twitter from 2015.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure
one.
you may know the one I'm talking to. Yeah, that one.
Let's see if it opens. Here we go. This is Chris Roberts. Stole 2 ships, was ran by someone taking off while watching players come and go from Port Olisar, and was shot in the face twice at Korea. This was back in 2015, so that was a baby PU.
Oh, Chris Roberts, never change.
Yeah, it's like,
just
come on.
Highlight the first 3 words. Highlight the first 3 words.
Stole 2 ships.
Like, you see that, chat? Chris Roberts, he's one of us, guys. He's one of us.
Yes, Hexploitation, it does date you playing on your Commodore 64. Let's close it. Come back to here. So yeah. Like, this comment though, I see it as extremely toxic towards the other players. And the fact that he's made it in fucking Concierge, this guy is too much of a fucking cow to put this out in general. And that he would put it in the gated area. Hide it from the rest of the fucking community, hoping that because of his concierge status, that it'll get more fucking notice from CIG. Fucking hate it.
You know what? We're opening the gates and letting the common folks see it, chat. This is your time. Take a good look.
RevengeX, isn't this an NFT scam like Star Atlas? The difference between this and Star Atlas is that this is still going.
Yes, in case you haven't realized, guys, Star Atlas has been cancelled.
Like, too soon?
Too soon, Agent? What do you mean?
Well, like, I only had it a week. Alright. Let's sort by top. Because there are a lot of fucking Care Bear responses. This is outright theft and griefing from Nazgul. CIG's in. I don't know why they put it in points, but they decided to do it anyway. Yes, it is, and it's by design, results in open world forced PvP. Anyone who thinks and insists otherwise is completely delusional.
Delusional.
Forced PvP.
Wow.
The moment, like, I don't know if you guys realize this, we actually don't show it in our videos, but we've actually got a special window that we have in Star Citizen that, because we're pirates, we get special access where we can see all the players in the game, we can select a specific point on the map and see that they're a cargo hauler, and we just teleport there like an NPC does.
Shh, Agens, you're not supposed to talk about that.
You know, and that's how we force PvP, because that's what CIG wants, right? It's fucking ridiculous. It's not forced PvP.
Oh,
fuck off.
God, Monka W.
Alright, the poll has ended. Results are in. Try and Spectrum narrowly beating out combat logging. Turns out a lot of people don't have much faith in the community.
That's it. See, Agens, you were talking about me playing my music is going to be the death of the stream, dude.
I just gave away the secret. Forced PvP may ultimately kill Star Citizen. Forced PvP is likely to drive away the desired millions upon millions of players that CIG has stated they want due to churn. I don't know why that's in capitals.
Churn. Let's look up the definition of churn just so we can get a full, understanding of why he may have capitalized that word. Churn means a machine or container in which butter is made by agitating milk or cream.
Isn't because you've been looking at lots of Randy Savage videos? Practice your voice.
No, I will
like that definition sounds
so you could show it on stream.
It's all right, Dobbs. I believe you. Oh wait, he actually talks about churn the next one. We should have just kept reading. Churn is when a subscriber tries out a game, then unsubscribes after discovering the game is not fun.
What?
Forced PvP resulting in frequent loss of in-game assets is not fun. The more this happens, the less fun the game is. They are fucking acting like the moment that they are stepping outside their hab, they're just fucking fighting their way to their ship, and then they get in their ship, and then they're fighting their way to the outpost. And then they fight their way to the trade terminal. And then they buy their cargo, and then they fight their way back to their ship. Like, the majority of the time, players rarely see another player. And when they do, it's normally they just pass them and they give them a wave.
Hello, wave, hello, passing by.
What was it? I think it was during Fleet Week. Chris Roberts said that they had 130,000 concurrent clients connecting during Fleet Week at its peak.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of... That is a lot of clients connecting. Nowhere near the millions. I can be pretty confident with saying that not a lot of them are going to be fucking engaging in PvP. Ignoring the fact that the arcade flight model is not what was pitched, marketed, or funded, redesigning the flight model to force PvP combat is likely a business-destroying bad idea.
It's an arcade flight model, guys.
I don't think they ever mentioned how the flight model was going to function besides Newtonian physics, which still apply in the current model of the game.
Now, if you talked about arcade FPS models, then I would agree with that.
And Squadron 42 is a reason why there's a heavy combat focus in Star Citizen. Because Squadron 42 is a combat game.
Oh, we can't talk about Squadron 42, guys. That's the forbidden text.
The ultimate issue is that there are no real-world consequences for what ultimately amounts to specific behaviors in a semi-anonymous online game. There is no solution to that issue other than to provide a means by which PvP is never allowed to be forced. Fuck off. No amount of subjectively applied in-game deterrent or behavior modifier will stop players who knowingly enjoy negatively impacting the gameplay of other real-world players. Allowing and encouraging such behavior by design is likely incredibly detrimental to the long-term viability of Star Citizen. This is somebody who bought into the game and did not fucking research what they were buying. This is exactly that. They saw the pretty pictures, they saw the screenshots on Reddit and went, wow, this will be great. The fucking elite dangerous refugee. Like,
Great.
PvP is never allowed to be forced. We know that they're not actually talking about proper PvP, because PvP just means player versus player, and player versus player can be anything. Chess is a PvP game. Fucking poker is a PvP game.
Poker?
Yes. Uno is a PvP game.
I fucking love Uno. Who wants to play some fucking Uno? I'll kick y'all all y'all's ass.
God, I just started him, didn't I? Anyway, like, we're talking about combat. Player combat. That's what they're really talking about. Player combat.
Talking about thigh slapping combat.
But, you know, like, you've also got trade, which is at the moment a PvP gameplay loop. You've also got racing, which is also a PvP gameplay loop. Which is why, once again, I say combat PvP. And that's a distinction. Like, these people do not want to engage in combat. And some of the most popular games in the world are fucking PvP combat games.
Is this therapeutic for you, Agens?
Yes. Cosmic Jackalope, shout out Jack. Force PvP may ultimately kill Star Citizen. This is just completely delusional.
Delusional.
Dropping truth bombs like an A2 at Jumptown. Not only is PvP as popular, if not more so than PvE games, it keeps games fresh without the constant steady stream of new content. I get that it might not be what you want from the game, but that's what it's going to be. Every time you click on enter the game, you're opting into a sandbox where economic PvE and PvP gameplay exists. That is a unique experience a lot of us are knowingly here for. If you don't like the PvP aspect of that, go play Freelancer or X4. X4 is another more recent alternative. Just gonna upload that. Fucking old mate responds with a novel because he plays Spectrum Citizen. Fuck is my post?
Where is it, Agens? Find it.
I'm looking for it. Calm down. Here we go. Caden says, Piracy is not griefing. Devs has said so many times. If you think so, then you need to find another game. That needs another upload.
Find another game, dickhead.
But griefing that people call griefing is that call piracy is griefing. Ultimately, one person's griefing is often another person's good time, and people do need to recognize that not all open world PvP game is intended as griefing, but I'm not gonna finish that because it just continued the confusion.
Oh god, I can't. Hold on. I need to rub my head. My fucking brain.
Here we go.
Oh my god.
Now, I responded to this when I found out about it. And I actually started typing up a long post. Pretty much going through and dissecting old mate's little fucking whinge, because that's all this is. He's having a fucking whinge that there are other players that play the game differently to them that they don't like, because they could end up in a position where they lose and they don't get to have as much fun as what they think they might have. Whereas until they've tried it, they might actually have a lot more fun than they realize. But hey, it's easier just to complain about something than try it. Anyway, I linked the video because if you're going to say something and you're going to talk shit, then you better have the evidence on hand to prove your point. Which is why I linked the video. Because it's right at the fucking end. And throughout the entire bloody discussion, myself and Moist are talking about piracy gameplay, how it creates emergent gameplay opportunities, and how it'll, you know, it's going to be great. It's going to be great for pirates. It's going to be great for those who engage in the gameplay. That's the key. Engaging in gameplay. Oh, and yeah, it was an enjoyable discussion. There was actually supposed to be another guy there, and he had some ISP issues. Turns out they were doing some work, and he didn't realize that it was going to happen at the time.
That guy. That fucking guy, you know, right, Agens?
Well, he was going to be the counterbalance to myself and Moist coming from the lawful side of things, but yeah, he more or less it was just the discussion would have still been about, you know, gameplay opportunities that get generated in 3.18 with soft death and, you know, PvP piracy gameplay and everything else that comes as a result of it.
You know, I'm holding a pair of nail clippers right now, and the branding on one of the sides, it says Tweezer Man. I think that's a very apt brand name for a pair of nail clippers, or even grooming products in general.
Are you getting bored, Dobbs? Is that what you're saying?
If you're looking,
it sounds like you're getting bored.
Listen, I'm just saying, if you're looking for a good pair of nail clippers or other grooming products, I recommend Tweezer Man.
This isn't sponsored. Where the hell are you going? What are you doing, Dobbs? Are you advertising?
I may or may not.
Are you sponsored?
I may or may not be slightly bored, but that's neither here nor there. Buy Tweezer Man nail clippers, great stuff.
Right. Well, fucking, we're not being sponsored by it, so you can listen to Dobbs if you want or not. Anyway, I always encourage people to do your own research. So if you do see this and you bloody immediately jumping on old mate's side without actually doing any investigation, the video's there. Watch it. It may take you a while. You can listen to it in the background. You don't need to actually look at the screen. Just listen to what we're talking about. It still may not be what you're interested in.
You can listen to it on your drive to work. You can listen to it while you're cleaning around the house. You can listen to it while you're cooking.
You can listen to it while you're cargo hauling in Star Citizen.
It has so much practical application. So I recommend. Also, for the VOD watchers, please tell us in the comments what you're doing whilst listening to the stream.
Well, they'd more than likely just be replying to your thing in the comments now. That's what they'd be saying. That's what I'd say.
What about the nail clippers?
No, I'd be saying I'm doing as Dobbs said right now, and I'm typing into the comments because that's what he told me to do.
Oh look, one of them is baking a cake, Agens.
Baking a cake? I want cake. Chocolate cake, mud cake. Caramel
I'll tell you,
cake.
man, I love eating cake.
There we go. We got people in chat. So, one guy's at work, having nothing to do. Don't let your boss see that.
Nail clippers? Am I going full on metrosexual? I don't know what that means.
That's probably before your time, Dobbs. Probably a
You
kid.
know what? Time for the Urban Dictionary definition. Let's see.
Or
Please
metro
carry on.
section. Anyway, yeah, you can. If you're a concierge, feel free to go through there. Don't bother engaging the locals there, though. They are a special kind of spectrum dweller. They feel very insulated with their position that they have paid for, essentially.
A young, urban, heterosexual male with liberal political views, an interest in fashion, and refined sense of taste. Well, you know what? I can say one of those things is not true, and I will leave it up to your own interpretation.
Just going to drop the link again for you all in chat. It was asked for. Remember to Picard palm it if you can. Get those Picard palms up above the upvotes. Doesn't happen enough in Concierge. Like, there's quite a few bloody posts that go along these themes of, you know, somebody saying, I shouldn't have to do this thing because that's not what I want to do. Alright. Let's switch over to face cam now. So yeah, that's a little preview into Concierge if you haven't seen it before. If you have, and you dare to tread in there, in Spectrum and Concierge, good luck. Don't get too invested in the conversations that happen there. They're a special breed of Spectrum dwellers.
I was playing along with the joke.
Yes, that's right, Toe Cutter. It is gated because I'm just going to say it outright. Old mate's too much of a coward to put it in general.
Well, if you want to enter the unholy land of Concierge, this week is now the time with the IAE, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Pick up a few ships, spend some money, put out a second mortgage on your home. It's fine. Doesn't matter. It's all about Chris Roberts, right, chat?
How else is he going to buy that second super yacht? And fuel's gotten a lot more expensive, so he's going to need more money from us this year.
Yes!
Alrighty, so that was Piracy, an act of robbery on the high seas.
Here we
go. Full of griefers. It's full of Spectrum dwellers. They're actually below griefers.
Well, no, here's the thing. I will challenge that, Agent. You know what? Dirty's right when he says it's full of griefers, because you know what those same people do? They combat log, they alt F4, they self-destruct. They're using self-destruct. You know, I like to call self-destruct a griefing tool. So, you know, whenever I see that or any of that, they're griefing me out of my gameplay. That's how I feel about it. Thoughts on that?
Well, you know, from a certain point of view, he's not wrong.
From a certain point of view.
Yeah, combat logging is just cheese. Like, take the loss. Like, if you lose the fight, just take the loss. And it doesn't matter if you're a fucking cargo hauler, miner, bloody, you know, criminal, bounty hunter. Just fucking take the hit and learn from the experience. Don't be a bitch. Not hard. It's not like you're losing anything real anyway.
Combat logging won't always be in the game, though, right? It won't always be in the game. Wink.
Yeah, don't be a bastard. As Benoit from Turbulent says, it's a bastard move.
First of all, it's a bastard move. This is a bastard move. Thank you, Benoit. The griefers are taking over Star Citizen development. Did you guys, by the way, did you see this week in Star Citizen? There is apparently a brand new member of the community team who said, and I quote, "They're a big nerd and a pirate at heart." Agens, did you see that?
Yes, I did. Being a pirate at heart is one thing, but you know, I prefer actions than fucking talk. Plenty of pirates out
No,
there.
Agens, are you? Listen,
I expect proof.
I understand that you want proof and everything, but do you ever relish in the small wins ever?
Small wins, no.
Why the
Never relish in the small wins. It's all about the big wins. Go big or go home, man. No? Cool. Another community manager within Star Citizen calls himself a pirate. That's great. Fucking show us. Do some piracy. Go steal somebody's shit.
Oh, you
Go
bastard.
track down Tailgater. Pirate him. Alright, let's move on. Because chat's starting to get into the griefer debate and I want to move on from that. We're going to move on to the next Spectrum post. It's in Ask the Devs. It's a pretty short one. We'll get the narrator out for it though still.
Oh, was it time? Sorry.
Yes. Yes, Dobbs. The narrator should be coming out soon. It's a short one.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Also, you know, once we get into the comments of this, if you can find it, Agents, there is a post in response to a Care Bear talking about combat logging and griefing, and your boy left a fucking verbal smackdown on it, and he didn't fucking reply. So I'm just saying, if you could find it, it might be a good read. That's all I'm saying.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes because Spectrum sometimes can be fucky, and they may have replied already.
A post by Varick7 with the title Soft Death. Will it be possible to finish off a ship? He continues, quote, "Hi everyone. The introduction of soft death is very exciting. Since there will now be a 70% chance that the crew will stay alive, will it be possible to completely destroy a ship by continuing to shoot at it even after soft death?"
Now, this is a pretty rare post in that a COG developer answered in Ask the Devs. But we get none other than the bug smasher Mark Abent making an appearance. Are we gonna get the narrator to respond, or?
Do you want the narrator to read the top comment as well? Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I guess.
Go ahead.
Mark Abent of CIG says, quote, "In 318 Evocati, soft death is no longer percent-based in the sense of 70% chance of occurring. It is now directly tied to the health of a critical part reached 0 health. There is an additional health phase thereafter, which once hit will advance the soft diff to a regular diff. The buffer tends to be higher in large ships to favor them reaching soft diff more frequently than smaller ships. So you will want to be careful with your shots if you want to facilitate soft diff over a regular diff. The buffer size and mechanism will be tweaked based on feedback and analysis. So yes, you can now, quote, finish off a vehicle."
That was actually a concern.
I guess.
That was actually a concern that I had when they talked about soft death. Because I'm like, when they first mentioned it was like a 70-30 split. 70% chance of occurring. It was like, I don't like that. It doesn't feel like it's skill based. But obviously CIG saw the light. Still getting votes. CIG obviously saw the light on that, and they agreed. And then Hannah, she drops in and asks, what will happen to medical bays and if self-destruct is activated before a ship goes into soft death? And this is where a whole fucking can of worms gets opened. Yes, Hannah, she has been on the channel before. She also has her own YouTube channel. You should check it out. Xperia 888. And then we get Mark Aben responds to Hannah's question. Curious to know what the community thinks of self-destruct and soft death.
I have a love-hate relationship with self-destruct. I'm just going to say it right off the bat.
Right now, if you self-destruct prior to soft death, then the self-destruct will still go off, resulting in the vehicle going into regular death. Calm down,
Sorry.
Dobbs. I haven't finished yet. You lose control over the self-destruct item after soft death. So you won't be able to set it off after the vehicle is in the soft destroy state. On one hand, we can cancel self-destruct after soft death, thus preventing the target from sabotaging the attacker's spoils. On the other hand, if you invoke it prior to soft death, you one-up the attacker, assuming they wanted you in the soft damage state. I ponder how split people will be depending on the playstyle. PvP versus PvE.
Oh my god, I'm so stressed out, man. Oh.
So, this part here is indicative that CIG is aware that there is a mentality difference between those who wish to engage in PvP and those who wish to engage in PvE in this sort of scenario. In that, a player who is somebody that only wants to engage in PvE will be more than likely the type of person that will initiate self-destruct. To give, that player that's trying to pirate them the big fuck you. And I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, self-destruct in and of itself is fine. The crux of this issue is that as it stands right now, based off of what Mr. Aben said, there is zero way for us to counter that. And that is the part that's disturbing. Now, if there was a way to counter it, like for instance, like we have right now, if you can get on the ship, get in the pilot's chair and disable it, that's fine. I would still love that if that were the case. But, once the ship reaches soft death, you can't, there's no way to counter it if it gets set off, which is the bad part.
So for those in chat, they are you can't initiate self-destruct after you achieve soft death. That's what he says. So ship goes into soft death state. You can't set off self-destruct anymore. But if you set it off before you enter the soft death state, they're saying that the self-destruct will continue and will go off when it's supposed to, after the ship ends up in soft death. Now, the problem out of all of this, as Dobbs has pointed out, is that they don't say anything about us being able to counter it. Now, the way that you counter self-destruct is you have to get in the chair and you have to turn it off. You get in the pilot's chair, press the self-destruct. We train this. This is part of our boarding training. Because we just assume the moment that we're on that ship, we're on a timer. That ship is going to explode. So we gun it for the turret, or for the cockpit. We're going for the pilot's chair. If you're in the pilot's chair, you're going to get shot. Okay, we're not going to ask you to get out nicely or anything like that. We're going to shoot you out of the fucking chair.
Can you please get out of the seat? Please? Can you please get out of the seat? I'm trying to cycle the self-destruct. Oh, have you cycled self-destruct? Can you please stop? Can you turn it off, please? Can you get out of the seat? Please get out of the seat. Can you believe that that's how some people expect us to behave, chat? Ain't that something?
Yeah. Like, fucking mid-air boarding is a good example. Go read through the comments there. You'll see people saying, oh, you should have shot him while he was in the chair. Like, you should have asked him to get out. No. Fuck off. Get out. You're still in the chair. Bang. You're out. That's it. That's how it works. If you get out of the chair and you're doing anything else other than fucking laying down, you're going to get shot.
Hello, Jack Axton.
But yeah. Like... This part here bothers me, that this has been considered as a method of, like, you know, they're sitting there thinking about this. It's like, do you fucking know how hard it is to board a ship? To find the target alone can take you hours. And then you've got to disable it. Now they've just added soft death, which is something that would make it somewhat easier. However, because they've changed the soft death to be more skill-based, in that you have to attack the ship a certain way so that you're able to put that ship into the soft death state. Which means that you need to have practiced that. You can't just do it by chance. You have to have practiced that. So you spent time before you even found this person working out the spots to shoot, and then practicing the shooting at the areas that you found are what will disable that ship. So you've already put a lot more time investment into this scenario, right? Then you finally find someone. You soft death their ship. You get on board it. You fight the crew and you win the FPS fight. Right? The ship can't move. We don't have the ability to move that ship. It's in the soft death state. Its engines don't work. It's not going anywhere. You're now stuck in a fixed location to transfer all that cargo off that ship. During which time, old mate could be calling up his friends and going, hey, I just got attacked by these pirates. I know where they are. Let's group up and go get them. But that's not going to happen if you allow the self-destruct to continue after soft death happens. You're negating potential gameplay. But as you can see, I responded to Mark Haben. And I said to him, if you can't stop self-destruct after the ship enters soft death, then you disincentivize shipboardings when soft death happens, negating the entire point of adding it in the first place. They added soft death so that we could do shipboardings.
They want to incentivize boarding gameplay, and they want player-to-player boarding actions. They said so in the fucking like AMA where they were talking. Like, I asked the question. I was like, how do you want to encourage piracy in player-to-player shipboardings? And they said soft death. We were like, okay, great.
This is how we found out about it. The actual term soft death too.
Yeah, and this as well, like now with this whole self-destruct thing and no way to counter it, it's completely counterintuitive to what they are trying to achieve. Because no one is going to want to do shipboardings if the moment the first shot gets fired, the pilot just hits backspace, and then there's nothing that they can do after that.
Like, I am not bothered if they allow self-destruct to run after the soft death happens, so long as we can stop it. That's all I really
we just
care
need
about.
to be able to stop it. That's
As
it.
long as we can stop it. That's it. You know, so like, you can make it so that bloody putting a ship in soft death cancels it out. Or you could let it keep going. As long as we can stop it. That's the main issue. Like, we train for that.
Yeah,
we
like-
account for that. So, like, you know, if you want to do those shipboardings, you're going to have to keep that in mind. And that's...
Yeah, I mean, whether it be like disabling self-destruct, whether it be through distortion, whether it be through soft death, whether it be through boarding and actually getting in the chair, like whichever, like at whatever point it is, there needs to be something.
Yeah. And, you know, like, we got a video here. I'm not going to play it because fucking it'll only show it in this tiny ass little screen. But this is actually one
If you
of
click
our...
on the actual title, it'll bring you to a YouTube window.
That one?
Yeah. So if you basically click on like the self-destruct thing, it
Yeah.
should bring you to the YouTube window.
Yeah, ask him to bring his ship to a stall. Name is The Real Mark Klar.
Yeah, I saw.
One's ready.
He's ready.
I'll need peace fire.
He's ready.
Oh, he
Oh, and he's
totally
self-destructed.
self-destructed.
Ah.
There you go.
Yep.
It happens.
So so right there, that's a prime example of what'll happen, you know, by default when or if this patch goes live like this, you know, because it's like, and don't get me wrong, like with cargo refactor and the way that works is that we'll still get about a 45% average of the cargo, which is fine, you know, like it does, like in that case it doesn't really matter because we'll still be making money plus salvage, you know, like we'll still make a lot of money based off that. But, you know, since we're in it for like the whole sequence and the boarding gameplay, that's going to be the default option number one response whenever people get attacked. Is just hit the self-destruct, I win, basically.
Well, no, it's not even I win, it's that you lose. Like,
Yeah.
they understand that they've already lost at that point. They don't care anymore. They just want to try and make you lose more than what they will. Because that solo hauler may have invested all that credits into their cargo, but you've got a bunch of pirates who, instead of, you know, doing cargo hauling or bounty missions or stuff like that, are spending their time hunting for targets worth pirating. And they're using specialized ships to do that. And then you've got to consider all the extra shit that you had to do before you got to that point of even being able to pirate a ship like that. Like, what you see in our videos isn't a fucking accident. It doesn't just, you know, come about because we went, hey, you know, like, let's just get together and, oh, you know, we've just got all these EMP ships and somebody just happened to bring a Mantis and, you know, like, oh, hey, we should do a countdown right now. No, we fucking did a whole bunch of training. We did a whole bunch of experimentation, a whole bunch of testing. Hours upon hours. Spent hours, you know, experimenting, testing, training. And then we go and find people to, you know, pirate. So what you see in our videos is not a result of fucking just, you know, people fucking around. We trained. And we're putting ourselves in positions where anything could happen. We have to respond accordingly, on the fly, making, you know, split-second decisions. So the thing about that is that when you see people going, oh, you know, like this cargo hauler spent, you know, millions of credits, it's like that one time that they are losing those millions of credits. How many, you know, how much time did they invest into, you know, like learning how to become a cargo hauler? 9 times out of 10, most players just go and watch a YouTube video about where are the best places to do trade. Shout out to Jack Axton. And they'll just follow that. And then they'll just fat arm it in their bloody hauler, moving boxes from one place to another. Not thinking about what they're doing. no investment in their, trying to train up skills or even like attempting to do anything beyond put boxes in ship, move ship from A to B, take boxes off ship, make
I'm
numbers
curious
and
to how
wallet go up.
pirate orgs. Kenneth Jones asks, I'm curious how pirate orgs are going to react to other pirate orgs. Well, I can answer this. I'll paint a scenario for you, right? Let's say a pirate org finds a cargo hauler out there and stops it, boards it, and captures it. And meanwhile, through doing their logistics of transferring the loot onto their prize ships, Mongrel Squad comes in and basically destroys all of the pirates, blows them up, kills everybody, and takes all the loot for ourselves.
Yep.
So if that answers your question, hopefully, of how pirate orgs will interact with each other, or at least us. You may find other pirate orgs that will be happy to, what the fuck's the word? Parlay.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's about survival of the fittest. If you managed to fight us off, GG, you won the prize. If you didn't, better luck next time. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's the way it is. But it's a lot of people don't understand just the amount of time and effort that we actually put into becoming a pirate. A lot of people end up who join Mongrel Squad baffled by how little they actually know about the game when we start teaching them. The thing about that is that we need to know all of that information. So, and the knowledge and experience is an investment, which is one of the reasons why we don't really care that much about making millions upon millions of credits, because if we wanted to do that, we wouldn't do Piracy. It's about the experience, it's about the gameplay. We bought into a video game.
It's about slapping fucking thighs. You hear that? It's getting meaty. It's getting fucking tenderized.
And then we got Jack saying, this very much so, and from a game design view, self-destruct not being interruptible ends gameplay for all involved, whereas giving counterplay extends it and adds depth to it. Even if it's not an ideal long-term solution, just like soft death itself has been sold as an interim, self-destruct cancelling on soft death means boarding actions and means traders and miners have reasons to keep those gun racks on their ship stocked. That is 100% right. And then you got the Tomato King bloody talking nonsense. I don't think that will be a big issue. Fuck off, it won't. Unless you're a pirate, you have no idea what you're talking about in this. Fucking combat logging is an epidemic right now. It is an epidemic. It is ridiculous. Yeah.
Agens, I actually I posted a link in OrgComms to a thread that I commented on.
Actually, where is your response? Because you mentioned that at the start.
It's under one of Space Dude's comments. Oh yeah, you just went past it. Go back up to Space Dude's comment.
Space Dude's comment. Ready? Is this one?
Yeah. So Atlas, yeah, right underneath. My comment is right underneath Atlas Rants.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll make. This is to me. My answer is based on the current state of the game. This should change if mechanics change. Then he quotes Mark. In the current state of the game, this would be the choice that would require more skill and make for for interesting gameplay, since self-destruct can be activated very easily and it only takes a minute at best to activate. And then all the other side where you can invoke a prior to soft death and one up the attacker. It's possible to counterattack, yes, but where is the skill in that? If one would need to at least go to the engine and type in a code to activate self-destruct, plus a bit more than 60 seconds till it blows up. But if not, if the pilot just has to press backspace and approximately 60 seconds later the ship makes boom, it's, in a way, it's immersive combat logging. True. Like, it just negates the reason to even bother practicing shipboardings or, you know, disabling ships or anything like that. You might as well just fucking show up in Eclipse and torp it. Because you just have to assume that they're going to set self-destruct. You can't, like, CIG has not implemented any other features to do with self-destruct that tells ships, hey, self-destruct was activated. Or, you know, anybody else on the ship. It's pretty much a silent alarm that only the pilot hears.
It disturbs me. It gives me nightmares.
Then we got Atlas Rand, who replies and says, no, what's not immersive is being in 2952 and not having a self-destruct in your cargo ship that works. The only counter you are leaving haulers by removing self-destruct. Yeah, we'll get to your response in a minute. Calm down.
Sorry.
You gotta do this whole, you know, one side of the argument and the other, Dobbs. You gotta give one side the ability to talk.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You'll get your opportunity. I'll let you read out your response. That way you can put the inflection.
It's fine. Fine, whatever.
The only counter you are leaving haulers by removing self-destruct is logging off, which does break immersion, but if you can't fly away, you can't warp out, can't fight back, and 70% of your cargo drops, much more likely the ship will have booby traps, laser mines, electric shock systems, and a full self-destruct that is backed up by batteries and fuck me. And wireless to be sure it works even if parts of the ship are non-functional. This guy is fucking acting as though he's going to get boarded every single fucking time he goes out. Right. The responses. We have Dobbs. Dobbs.
Hello.
Your response.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Read it?
So the reason why I responded in the way that I did, because the crux of this dude's
for
argument.
An explanation. Just read it out and then explain yourself afterwards. Don't explain yourself before. Read it first and then explain afterwards.
Well, fucking Agens, can you just stop being a fucking drama queen?
Hurry up
Christ.
and read it. The reason why the stream's going for so long is because Dobbs kept talking.
Then stop fucking talking then!
Hurry up, man.
So I said...
The stream's waiting.
God. So I said, but you can fight back. People have always been able to fight back. Even if you're a solo player, you're outnumbered and ill-prepared, you can still fight back. Whether or not you win comes down to how prepared you are. People are slowly going to realize that you cannot simply fly and defend a multi-crew ship by your damn self. And you'll need people and resources to set yourself up for success. The game has been moving in the direction of a multiplayer MMO for years. All that's coming in 3.18 and beyond should come at zero surprise to solo players and industrials, because the writing has been on the wall the entire fucking time. And I'll say why, like the reason why I responded the way that I did. Because if you look at Atlas's comment, basically the entire crux of his argument was because, oh, if you remove self-destruct, then you remove the very last option that industrialists have. It's like, fuck the fuck off. Like, seriously, whether or not you win comes down to how prepared you are. That's really it. You have always been able to fight back. Okay? You don't fight back by combat logging. You don't fight back by self-destruct. You don't fight back by fucking logging back out to the menu. You fight back by actually fucking fighting back, Mr. Atlas, and anyone that may agree with Atlas. Holy shit. Like, with especially with resource management coming down the line and so many other multi-crew features, people are going to realize that they can't fly a goddamn multi-crew ship by themselves, and they cannot expect to fucking succeed against a group of people that have come in to attack them that are more prepared than fucking you are.
The irony is that he talks about booby traps, laser mines, electric shock systems, which means that they kind of have an idea that you would need to be prepared. It's just they don't want to be prepared in the way that is probably the way that CIG wants them to be prepared, which means having armor in a armor locker and guns with ammo in them. And when somebody goes to board your ship, putting that armor on, grabbing that gun and fighting back, because that's how you stop ship boardings. That's right. Prior preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance.
The 6 Ps.
And the thing about this is like, that's the mentality that some players in this community have. Like, this is the mentality of somebody who is okay when they're going to lose, they're going to make sure that you lose too. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but they don't want to even engage in the gameplay the moment that they've lose. They don't want to create the opportunity for themselves where they could actually bring it back from the brink of fucking failure. And it's possible. But you're going to have to rely on friends to help you. Because guess what? Pirates aren't fucking getting around by themselves. So when I see these posts about bloody screen lickers complaining, oh, it's a 6v1. Of course you guys are going to beat them. That's not fair at all. No shit, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be fair.
Does Dobbs go on the job with an empty gun? One time, yes.
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 There was one time.
Yes. One time, yes, indeed I did, and I got shot in the face for it.
Yep. I remember that hit. It's quite fun.
That wasn't my proudest moment, but you know what? Here we are.
That's where we started practicing ensuring that we had loaded magazines.
You elect me to be your premier boarder? What, are you gonna have a boarding crew, Jack?
Alright, here we go.
Doing Piracy, Jack?
Mayo Makio. Yeah, I do a decent bit of solo, and if I get outmanned or outgunned, I don't complain. I know the risks. Chad
Based.
100%. Be like Mayo. You're gonna roll solo, know that you're fucking gonna be outmanned and outgunned. Space Dude, you already have FPS self-destruct. Just hold the grenade and pull the pin on it and just hold it. Prosy, yes. Normally it's very quick though. In fact, there's a video, third time's a charm, where somebody managed to do it twice. We got him on the third go.
Sounds like an invitation. Oh, you know what? I may take it. Or somebody else might take it.
So yes, the most interesting thing out of all this though is that, you know, we got some more information about how soft death is supposed to work, so it's no longer RNG fucking, you might get a 70%
yeah, like,
thing.
I don't want to make it sound like we're just fucking ranting and complaining about self-destruct.
Oh, no,
like, the fact that it's now...
Yeah.
Well, we are. But
Like,
to balance it out, though, we are very, very happy about the fact that it's no longer RNG based, that it's more skill based, and whether or not you achieved soft death is based solely on knowledge and precision and accuracy. That part of it is fucking fantastic, and we love that.
It's disappointing though to hear that this is even a consideration, because it's quite clear that CIG hasn't thought of the implications of, you know, how we got to that point. You know, that ship didn't end up in that soft death state by accident because they made it a skill-based thing. You know, it said right here, it's a skill-based thing, which means that you've had to experiment, test, and train. So instead of, you know, fat arming it in a bloody cargo hauling ship, making credits that way, you and your team are there practicing, not making any credits, in the hopes that when you do find someone, you're going to be able to pull off the hit right. And then you go and do the hit. And because the cargo hauler knows this little bit of information that prior to soft death, initiating self-destruct will still carry over, they will wait until the last moment before soft death and try and initiate self-destruct. When they see those shields go down, probably when they'll start it. At which point, ship soft dies, pirates go to board. Before they get to the chair, or even get to engage old mate in the seat, the ship just explodes with them on it. Now, that's great for the fucking cargo hauler going, yeah, I'm gonna, one up these fuckers. Fuck you. But the thing about that is that they could get to that pilot's chair, and they're just gonna stand there and stare at it. Can't get in the chair. Then what? You are literally negating the reason why you're adding soft death in the first place by allowing that to happen. It's fucked. Why put in all that effort in implementing this system and then go, oh yeah, we'll just, ignore this one little bit. How you guys allow us to stop the self-destruct, because that's all that really matters. Like if we disable it with EMP or distortion damage, or we're able to interact with a panel or something like that to turn it off, however CIG decides to do it, that's up to them. But if you don't give us a counter to it after soft death happens, you're pretty much negating the reason why soft death is being added. If you want to encourage people to do ship boardings, then you need to give them the tools. I'm okay with the risk of going onto a ship that's, got self-destruct running. I'm okay with that. Fucking do it now. What I'm not okay with is a system that doesn't have a counter. Alright. Got anything more to say, Dobbs, before we move on?
Not really. I mean, it just confuses me how they're extremely adamant about incentivizing boarding actions, and not just for like pirates, for bounty hunters, and just like the general populace of players, but they still have this which essentially de-incentivizes it, because why board if the thing's going to blow up and there's nothing you can do about it? So, I mean, hopefully it gets addressed and changed soon, if not in 3.18, perhaps in the future. Because yeah, that's a problem.
It's not going to stop us though.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll still go out there and do shit. Like I said, like even if the ship explodes, we'll still make a profit, and a decent profit at that. But
well, if we notice that,
it's always been more about the gameplay.
Here's my counter to this though. If we know that soft death means that we can't stop self-destruct, then we'll just maintain what we've been doing now already, and that's something that we've been practicing for years, and that's using distortion damage to disable ships so that we can board them. Because we already know that you can cycle the self-destruct on a ship that has been disabled with distortion damage. So we won't soft kill the ship. We'll just disable it with distortion damage, board it, and then cycle the self-destruct. Like we've always done. The thing is that not everybody trains like we do. There's more people out there who are waiting on cargo refactor and a mechanic like soft death so that they're more encouraged to go and do shipboardings. You gotta keep that in mind as well. Alright. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot being tested in Evocati as well when it comes to soft death, cargo refactor, and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, the wider community will get it soon. You'll be able to experience it for yourself and give your feedback. I'll tell you right now, if that second state does manage to stay, so self-destruct persists after self-death, then, well, I'm probably going to campaign CIG to deactivate it. We've already brought our points up with them now about it, you know, in that post right there.
Need to protest outside the CIG offices. Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off.
Well, it's a bit of a drive for me, so I might have to rely on the NA peeps. UK and Germany as well. And even the Canadians. Who keeps typing the entire time? That would be Doobs.
Yes, sorry, I'm currently, do you like the sound of this, chat? It's a really nice, loud mechanical keyboard.
Alright. So, the last one. Last bit of content that we're going to be reacting / ranting to. I think it'll just be more of a reaction.
I need the soft sync tube.
Sync tube? Yep, sync tube. It's alright. It's coming down. Gee. It's an old comms.
In the meantime, you can listen to my keyboard ASMR. You like this, chat? For those that like the sound of keyboards, do you guys ever like you know, you start to feel tired and fall asleep? All right, let me get this thing too. All right, I'm in.
You got the sync tube link? Good.
Yes.
Live streaming of murderers against YouTube TOS. I have to care enough first, though. Alright guys, so the next video that we're going to be reacting to is I didn't get the from the Space Coder.
Who?
The Space Coder. Now I haven't watched this full video yet.
Neither have I.
Watched the first like minute or so and it seemed quite promising, so yeah. We're going to be watching a YouTube video from the Space Coder titled Star Citizen Can 318 Save Trading. Let's see what the Space Coder has to say.
I'd like to discuss some of the features of the upcoming cargo refactor and what tools CIG could make to make cargo running a bit more pleasant and strategic. What would that require and how it could be done. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like and a comment to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more. And here's a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the channel and the armory. So, from the recent AMA and some other official statements by CIG, we know roughly what is the extent of the 318 portion of the cargo refactor. For now, it mostly has to do with how cargo is presented in the game world and how it interacts with other aspects of the game. But we know that ultimately it will touch many aspects of the game, including the economy, since all cargo will be physicalized and its ownership will be traceable. And this ownership tracking should be a part of the 318 release. Now, that last part is very important. It will eventually allow players to create the divide between traders and haulers. Now, what is the difference, you ask? Haulers, as the name suggests, haul cargo from point A to point B. Traders are the ones arranging the commodity exchange and making the actual trades in a more strategic experience. Up until now, both of these professions have been left on the back burner by CIG, with the state of trading being what it is. With the cargo refactor, many are hoping for this to change, as CIG have a tendency to make certain gameplay loops more profitable when they require testing. However, this might not be possible due to how supply and demand and commodity generation and consumption work in Star Citizen right now.
I like the B-roll, by the way.
Yeah. But it doesn't.
Pretty
There's
good
no
B-roll.
supply and demand. At all. Like, the places that you take cargo to don't actually need the cargo. And there's places where you're buying it from are fixed tick rates. So this idea that there's an economy in Star Citizen right now is it's understandable that people would think that, but there is no economy.
In a nutshell, every trade location generates or consumes a certain amount of commodities per server tick. The amount can be affected by either commodities being present or absent at the location. On its own, this is not a problem. However, the inventories of every instance of a certain trading location are shared across servers. This has in the past caused issues with availability of goods across locations. CIG tried to mitigate this by increasing the available stocks, but this didn't help. Also, it didn't address the fairly low profit margin.
What was that, Dobbs?
I said this guy might know basic lighting foundation, because basically in every B-roll shot he's backlighting everything. Sorry, this is just my real life work and knowledge coming into play. This is just the shit that I notice. I don't know, like, I might not even be focusing on the topic at hand. I'm just looking at the B-roll.
Oh my God.
You know, and that's why we have Agens here.
Alright, let's just keep this going. Well,
Just to
Dobbs
be
is
clear,
admiring
if you want to know,
backlighting.
listen. If you want to know
Try
what makes a
attention.
good image and how to make it look good, just fucking backlight it. That's it. That's all you have to do.
And this won't be solved until the economy and quantum are more integrated into the game. However, in 3.18, CIG will be introducing a long-awaited mission type that would give at least haulers something to do in the meantime. Now, we don't know much about cargo missions yet, but I think the general idea will be that you load a bunch of cargo at point A and deliver it to point B, which is simple enough, tests the cargo refactor and gives people something to do that is somehow related to trading in a way that it basically replaces the role of traders with mission givers. Now, all of this is very nice, but let's take a look at a different aspect of the Star Citizen economy. Before I went off on a tangent about 3.18 and cargo missions, I originally wanted to talk about what tools CIG can give traders to help them with strategic planning. And before you go ahead and say that Star Citizen won't be that kind of a game that will require trading tools and spreadsheets to become a successful trader, just take a look at the economy features CIG promised. Star Citizen will be that kind of a game. However, I believe that the trading gameplay loop will cater to traders of all levels. But that's all we know so far, so let's get back to the trading tools. Now, there are a few trading tools out there already, but these are made by citizens. What I want to talk about is how CIG is going to present trade and economy information to players. First, we know that some amount of trade information will be displayed in your Mobiglass in-game. The problem here is that in my mind, developing Mobiglass apps is on a back burner since the whole Mobiglass system is awaiting rework.
I think it's just his accent.
Fucking
Mobiglass. Close Mobiglass.
Bubble glass. Oh, what the hell? Bubble glass. Close bubble glass.
We need to turn that into a GIF.
No, it needs to be a sub alert.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that I feel like he's going to talk about is already in the game. Like, you guys remember those journal entries, right? The ones for, was it medical supplies, processed food, distilled spirits. Distilled spirits is part of it. I haven't looked at it in a while. It's more relevant during events like Fleet Week and IAE. But yeah, the commodity trading in the journal app, which was a really unfortunate addition because it had the potential there But CIG kind of missed the mark on that one too. Because it gives you information on a limited amount of commodities, where you can buy it at a cheaper rate, and where you could sell it at for more. It's not formatted well. It's actually quite difficult to read. It takes time, effort, and concentration to work out where you're going to buy from and sell to. But that's not the biggest issue with it. The biggest issue is that by the fucking time you get to the place to buy the commodities, the time has already expired and it's gone back up to its regular amount. Or you do get there and you buy it at that cheaper rate, and then you go take it back, or take it to the place that they're saying, hey, they'll pay more for it. And then they're buying at the regular rate. Or not at all. But it is what it is. They made an attempt. But yeah, like, I want to see if Old Mate actually mentions this at all. As Jack points out, that it actually it's made worse by when they added refueling mechanics. They added refueling information for every location that you can refuel at, which is a lot. Let's keep this going.
And it likely requires an internal gameplay team to work on it, and that team effort is probably better used somewhere else at the moment. However, this is the most immediate way for a player in-game to see what's happening around them in terms of economy. It's the equivalent of you looking up stock prices on your phone, which is nice but doesn't allow much strategic planning or seeing patterns in the economy. The next step would be the large displays at major trading hubs displaying the same information, or possibly adding terminals that would allow you to preview some more detailed trading information and supply and demand in nearby trade locations. And I know that some of you will think of data running here, but I will get to that in a minute. This presentation of economy data more or less has the same issues as the Mobiglass app. However, using the building blocks UI, it could be fairly easy to build out these terminals and get them implemented, but it would still take the effort of a gameplay team that could be used elsewhere. But depending on what data is shown, it could be more useful for historical analysis and strategic planning. So what is the quick, easy, scalable, and suitable solution? Well, there isn't. But there is one that comes very close. CIG could display the data outside of the game on a separate part of the RSI page. Now, this may sound weird, but hear me out. It also has a couple of issues, and I will get to that as well. First of all, the team that develops website features is completely separate from the game development, so technically this project wouldn't take away manpower from the game itself, which is great. A website can also deliver a much better user experience than a Mobiglass app or any in-game display, and can be updated and fixed much faster. And being able to access this information outside of the game is very useful for planning, and it will be much easier to display long-term historical data. There are some gameplay and balance related implications, but I will get to that as well. The first issue is very obvious. Where's the data going to come from? And the solution is actually very simple. In an effort to make server meshing possible, CIG are consolidating all economy and player related information into what is essentially one storage. This should theoretically make it possible to access the data from the website, which is important for the second issue, which is what data should you be able to see? Now, we know that in-game you will only be able to see data for trading locations near you, and in-game your location is easily verifiable because your character is physically there. But the persistent storage also knows this, so the website can pull that information and display data that is only relevant to you. And here is where data running comes into play. Let's assume that data runners will be able to obtain trade information from various locations and then sell it to the major exchanges in the verse. So let's say that a data runner will land and upload their data to the Lorville Central Business District. Across the data terminals, Mobiglass app, and the website, the users will be able to see the option to purchase the data for some amount of credits.
Alright, I'm just going to pause it here. So when CIG's talked about data running in the past, they're talking about data running between solar systems. So for example, between Pyro and Stanton, you'd be doing data running. Within a system like Stanton, it would all still be done near real time. So what old mate's talking about here, CIG actually has discussed to a certain point when it comes to data running. But yeah, it's old mate's going into a bit of detail about his idea. It's not bad. It's, if you sat down and thought through it logically, like, this is the same sort of conclusion that you come to. And Jack, yes, but Turbulent doesn't work on Spectrum because Spectrum doesn't make money. Ship sales do. And if you're paying attention to their ship sale pages, they're pretty good. Let's keep this going.
And this will allow them to demand end prices at some location that would normally not be visible from their current location. Now, the next issue is the accuracy of the data that is shown. This is probably the most complicated aspect to the whole idea and the most difficult to balance. You want to make the website useful while making sure that players are incentivized to log into the game and look at the data there. I think the way to do this would be to make the website show mostly historical data and general information about what is bought and sold where, and maybe prices as of some time ago. The in-game Mobiglass app and the trade terminal should show up more up-to-date information about current stocks and prices. However, a short time delay would still need to be present to prevent some exploits. One such exploit, especially once everything is in one server, would be a pirate sitting at the data terminal and checking for spikes in price of commodities at...
What's wrong with pirates monitoring this shit?
He's biased. Call it in, Agens.
It's not an exploit. It's research. Doing our due diligence.
trading locations, which would hint at someone buying a large portion of the available supply, and then using that information to ambush the trader on their way away from the location.
Okay, this guy clearly doesn't understand how pirates think about this sort of thing. We wouldn't be fucking doing it based on one hauler. We would be looking for trends where there's going to be multiple moving along the same trade route. Like that's a solo player mentality right there. The pirates are gonna get me. It's like, no, we don't actually give a flying fuck who you are. We care about what's on your ship. You know, it's like M. Bison from fucking Street Fighter. I think he was talking to Chung Li where it was like, you know, it was a life-changing moment when he showed up at her village and slaughtered everybody there. To him, it was just another Tuesday. It's like, that's how piracy is for us. Some nights we'll pirate 5 people. So it's
funny,
like,
Agens.
What's that?
You know the video that I clipped of the dude self-destructing in Alta 4ing? Or trying to self-destruct in Alta 4ing?
Yeah.
So, whilst the hit was happening, right? I don't think anybody noticed this, but I was watching the VOD, and apparently the target called out in chat. He said, "Is this piracy or just killing?" Which, looking at that, I started to laugh because I think that's hilarious. Like, those two things are fucking mutually exclusive from each other.
You don't have to kill to do piracy. It's just normally you end up
I
killing
do.
because they get in the way.
I do. I kill people all the time for piracy. Right, chat?
Yes, but you're not
That's
boarding
what we
the
do.
ship to kill them. You're boarding the ship to take the stuff, and they just happen to be in the way.
I'm doing both. Those aren't mutually exclusive.
Well, they are by definition.
I want to hear it.
There is the purpose behind what we're doing, which is we're there for valuables. If the person gets in the way, they're going to die. 318, we're going red flag, so we're going to be killing everybody on that ship. That doesn't mean that every pirate is going to be doing that.
I am.
Alex asked, Dobbs, the women and the children too.
Yes.
Especially the kids.
Especially the kids.
Those little fuckers.
And the,
you ever done laser tag against them?
Too.
You ever done laser tag against kids? They like to hide in corners and shoot you in the back.
Yeah, right, yeah, because that's how you want to play laser tag. Right, dude? Yeah, actually, no.
Camping. That's what kids do.
Don't forget the cattle. Yeah, slaughtering the cattle.
Alright, we're almost done. Let's finish this off.
Now, do we need this right now? No, there are plenty of player-made tools that fulfill the role of the website as I described, but it would be quite nice to see CAG implement an official solution to this as well, as it would provide more accurate information and provide a good starting source for new players and would also integrate into the game very nicely. Though I think we will see an implementation of the Mobbyglass app first before anything else is implemented. And with that being said, that's it for tonight. What do you think? Would you rather see trade data displayed in-game or on the website, or both? Do you think trading will be a game of spreadsheets and math or not? As always, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.
Why is that last line, fly safe, I'll see you in the verse? Why do I hear so many people say that?
What part?
That last phrase, fly safe and I'll see you in the verse. Why do I hear like so many content creators say that?
I don't know. Have you tried asking them?
No, but I'm asking you. You're a content creator.
But I don't say that.
Yeah, but you may be in the know, Agens. You're famous now.
Got no fucking idea what they're on about. I don't care if I see you in the game or not.
Whatever, dude.
Crash into the first thing you see. And fucking... I'll be looking the other way because I don't want to see you.
Just curious, that's all. You know, that's it.
But yeah, it's alright being curious, Dobbs. I just don't have the answer that you're looking for. Yeah. Clearly I'm not that much of a famous content creator. Because I'm not in the know.
Oh, like I said, if you want Agens to be a famous content creator, can we reach 8,000 subscribers by Christmas? I think that would be a really great Christmas present, chat. I think that would be awesome. That would make Agens very happy. Do you see him? Look at his face.
So yeah, there was actually some pretty good points that came out of that video. Like, there's obviously an issue with the way that information is presented when it comes to trade in the game, in that there is no real information presented other than that journal entry, which is limited to a few commodities, but is actually just taken over by quantum fuel and hydrogen fuel, which is ridiculous. And, you know, like, it makes sense what he's, you know, asking for. Making an external thing on the website, on the RSI website, it's always doable for the first iteration. It would allow CIG to learn how, you know, what backers will want the information structured as. But, yeah, it's, I don't really see CIG actually investing the time and effort in that. Not until we've got Quantum. Not until we got Quantum up and running. That's probably when we'll get that. Because the dynamic economy will be getting influenced by AI a lot. And the thing about a lot of the current sites that we've got, they're not updated in real time from any game data because we don't receive that. That's all encrypted. So for us, we're relying on game data that has been mined from the game files and is the base values. So it gives you a ballpark figure to run off. Now, websites like galog.co used to, or still allow you to do it, but they would let some users change the values based on, you know, somebody. Hey, Space Dude, thank you for the
Space Dude!
five.
Oh my
For the
god,
5
with the
euro?
£5. Is it euro?
Pound?
Pounds?
Oh, that's euro.
I can't see from here. I'm kind of.
Euro, yeah, that's right. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Was I?
Americans. Hey, I don't appreciate the slander.
The way exploitation.
What the?
That's a sticker. Way, that's $20. I'm not sure what currency that is though. And Jack Axton dropping another $5. We just got waves.
When are you guys gonna get some pirate animations for donations? I mean, I'm pretty sure we can talk to Sorial, can't we?
Yeah, see if he wants to do something. I don't actually know how the stickers in that work though.
Oh, hey, you know what, Agens? You know
Norwegian
how fucking
krona.
I think it was Warhead that made the GIF of, you know, with Mongrel Squad OL FC. I think there was like a kid throwing a pillow at another kid.
Yeah. The super chat system and super stickers and all that, that's new. And not a lot of content creators actually use them that much from what I've been able to find. And NOK is Viking money, so hopefully you stole it from someone else. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools that we're still missing when it comes to trade.
Viking money. See, the Vikings are on our side.
And what I would like to see when it comes to the trade tools that we get in game is that, you know, what Old Mate has actually said. So, like, stuff that we can actually see. Another currency. That's pound. Okay, Dobbs, right there,
Dude,
that's pound. That's £5.
It doesn't matter where in the world we go, we'll be able to buy something.
Cream of the crop emoji.
Oh, that's great.
Hey,
oh my
Slippy,
god,
dropping
Slippy!
$10. $10 US.
Slippy, I have always admired your profile picture, and I really hope you would switch it back to that in Gilded.
It's the best. Hey,
here it comes from Crumpet.
$10 Australian. With a suit.
Just so, like,
so that's a sticker. Okay. Thank you very much. Like, there's a lot of things that I actually want to look into for pretty much this YouTube channel. One of the things that I actually wanted to do was set up on the chat so that there's a separate section for those who do super chat messages and that. And
I'll tell you what we're gonna do, chat. You ready for this, Agens?
I haven't been able to find anything.
At some point in the future, we're going to do YouTube chat plays Star Citizen.
This is just going to end so badly.
Yeah, we're going to see if you guys in the chat can control Agens' game and get him to fly a ship and quantum travel somewhere. That'll be the goal. YouTube chat plays Star Citizen.
Seems like a recipe for disaster. I feel like Dobbs is throwing me under the bus. How the fuck are we going to decouple? I don't know yet.
Look, all it takes is just some Python code or some C# code. We can make it happen.
I don't know Python, but I can learn it, and I do know C#. I'll be doing cargo hauling in Pyro. It just won't be my cargo that I'll be hauling. It'll be somebody else's.
Chat won't leave halves. Hey, you underestimate the power of YouTube chat.
Oh, we'll probably struggle to leave the station because they'll take the helmet off and then run out the fucking elevator. YouTube chat versus FPS AI.
Yeah, have them go to a bunker. Oh my god.
Gotta get out of the station first.
You can bring them to a bunker and then just enable YouTube chat plays. Start the code. Middle mouse times 20. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's been the video was interesting. A lot of ideas I've actually expressed over the years too. That was similar to what Old Mate had talked about. Although I probably wouldn't have considered using the RSI website, mainly because it's a lot of work for Turbulent, and unless it's ship sale pages, I think they'd struggle a bit. No, Telvo, I'll just make sure I'm not wearing grenades. But I guess we've got these super chats up, so I'll stick around for a little bit longer. And just have a chat with you guys. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on 318 so far from what you've seen? Because I've seen a bit more. What are you guys' thought on 318? There we got excited. Space Dude cannot tell us in chat.
Well, I can't tell it either. I can't tell it either, Space Dude. You know what I mean?
Got Moist. Can't wait for it. Looking forward to seeing things evolve. We got Meh. Hashtag no more calls. Salivating. Interested. Telva's feeling avocados. Chuffed. Excited. Changes with
fucking
Gen 12
chuffed.
rendering.
Absolutely chuffed. I'm
Power
feeling
washing
gruntled.
simulator on spaceships, yes. Can't wait to see half the community cry themselves to sleep.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so
Oh
bad.
my god. To be honest, I think what they're going to end up doing is just, like, they're not going to log in. They're just not going to log in. They'll wait for the content creators, the very ones that they hate, to start showing what's in the
I'll tell
patch.
you, I am feeling oiled.
Oiled.
I am very oiled. Very, very, extremely oiled. I am the very opposite of rusty. I'm oiled. I'm ready to go.
Lubed. Would you say that you're lubed, Dobbs?
I'm not lubed, I'm oiled. Therein lies the difference.
Okay.
You need to get a good oiling if you want to be calibrated.
Medical gameplay will be like, since a lot of people claim there is a lot of medical traps out there. Some people do bait it. I can tell you now though, like yesterday, tell you about a hit. So, decided to take the cutter out, right? Cutter cult reigns supreme. And we were hunting for loot goblins. Alright, so we were checking out bunkers, we're going over to Microtech, we're checking out bunkers. We come across a landed Corsair, and it's like, I think like 8 kilometers away from the bunker. So like, alright, land the cutter, boarding team gets on board, starts searching the ship. We don't find anything of value. So we destroy the ship to see if boxes spawn. Nothing spawns. Anyway, we're like, all right, well, fuck. Old mate, maybe, you know, old mate crashed or something like that. So we'll just leave. Just as we're, you know, we get back into the cutter. Just as we're about to take off and leave, Trace, who's flying, notices a dragonfly on the ground with a pilot flying around. Turns out old mate was coming back to his ship after completing the bunker. Anyway, we start chasing around, shooting at him because we want to see what he had on him. And Trace manages to destroy him. But we see him destroy the dragonfly, but we don't know if old mate had actually managed to get off in time. So anyway, myself and a prospect, we dismount from the cutter. Trace stays in it, providing overwatch. We got Telva and a Mantis as well, providing even higher overwatch. In case any reinforcements come. So me and the prospect keep moving on. Moving down. We're about to go into the bunker, and then I'm like, no, let's go quickly check over the spot where the dragonfly got destroyed, just in case. Get over there, and there's old mate incapped on the ground. Right, sweet. We start checking out his gear. He's got some pretty basic stuff, like nothing really worth taking. Nothing that we already have. And, yeah. Next thing, Telva calls out that there's a Corsair incoming. Now, Telva's in a Mantis, and he had his snare charged. So, he deploys the snare so that the Corsair can't run away. And we're in Microtech's atmosphere, by the way. And if you know anything about the Corsair, it's good in a straight line, can't turn for shit. So, Telva just starts, you know, chipping away at his shields and that. Myself, the prospect, we mount back up in the cutter. Trace line, you know, beelines it for this Corsair. Now, this is a third Corsair that we've seen for the night. Telva's working the shields. Shields start going down a bit. And then Trace fires all 4 missiles at once at the Corsair. And it just goes up in a ball of flames. And he killed a Corsair with a Mantis and a Cutter. But here's the best part. No, not yet. Here's the best part.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, fuck's sake, Storms. Here's the best part, though. The pilot of the Corsair who was coming to the bunker starts accusing the guy who we shot on the Dragonfly of griefing him with a medical beacon. His old mate put up a medical beacon for somebody to come rescue him. And then the guy in the Corsair who we just killed starts going nuts in chat, accusing the guy on the ground of griefing. And we're just like, we're just silent the entire time. Just watching this unfold. And it's just chat going off about it. And I'm just sitting there like, this right here shows just how little the majority of the players actually understand about this game. Because if they had targeted Telva, which we know that they did, they could have seen his name on the screen and gone, that's a player. Or the Cutter showing up and firing 4 missiles at it. But the amount of people in chat that jumped on and bandwagoned with old mate, with like literally just old mate's word, that was it. He just said, you know, I just got griefed trying to do this medical beacon, you know, fucking this guy's a griefer, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? That's the mentality that's these players have. It's actually a reason why we record our videos, because we have been accused of griefing in the past. And we had video evidence to prove that we weren't griefing.
Can I applaud now?
Yes. Jack, 100% we let them take the blame. Like, old mate could have spoken up in chat, but they didn't.
That's on stream. That sounded like someone was like stomping on a fucking puddle or some shit. That did not sound like applause at all.
No, it's not copyrighted. That's from voice mod. Yeah, Hannah, I remember that video. That's just it. Like, the accusation of griefing gets thrown around so much in this community without any evidence at all. No evidence at all. That's so common in this community. And other people just jump on it and just believe it.
Oh, God. Dom's booty clap? Yeah, sure. I have pants on now, so you can't hear me. You can't hear the meaty slap of my thighs anymore, but if you were here earlier, you heard it.
Yes, Dome, you did. Right. So yeah, that was the story of from one of the hits that we did yesterday. And I gotta say, I'm impressed with the cutter. I love it. It's a great little ship. Best starter. Best starter ever. Don't fight anybody who says otherwise. Yeah.
It doesn't have a QED. I'm not impressed.
Doesn't need a QED.
Yes, it does. Everything needs a QED.
No. We literally pirated a rock miner. We pirated an 890 jump. Alright? Killed it. Killed an 890 jump.
The Drake Mule should have had a QED.
And then
thoughts on the
we killed
Drake Mule QED variant?
3 Corsairs over the course of the event with the cutter.
Also, for any pirates watching, it is stupidly easy to get inside of a Corsair right now. Not just by the elevator, by the way. It takes one railgun shot, even through shields, to pop the ramp on a Corsair. One.
Well, Brewski, maybe, because the fucking quantum tank on that thing is ridiculous. I don't 100% buy a cutter that had QED, or even a razor that had QED. Or just like being able to have a QED module that we can put on other ships.
Modules? Modularity?
Dome, you say that like that there's something wrong with that. Like, there's been plenty of times where wanting a kebab and not being able to get one has been so disappointing. And if, you know, if the cutter was real, I imagine that would definitely be a flying kebab shop.
I love kebabs.
I'm actually hungry too now. EMP missiles, they're coming soon. When? We don't know, but soon. Noise, you will not be disappointed. Get rid of that Aurora. Aurora's old news. Cutter is new sexy. But yeah. All right, guys. I am going to call it for the stream. Thank you very much for coming along for this stream tonight and watching me and Dobbs react and rant about a couple of Spectrum posts and a video on trade. Really appreciate the donations. Make sure to like, share. If you haven't already subscribed, do it. Share it with your friends, especially the parts about us talking about the self-destruct thing. And, you know, if you Concierge, go check out that post. Upvote where you want.
I'll fly
stream,
dangerously, Hex.
Next stream will more than likely be this time next week. I don't get my work schedule until this Thursday though, so keep an eye out for the notification for it.
Oh boy.
Now, I believe the next manufacturer for IAE is out.
Tell them about the new video coming out this week, Agens.
There's a new
have
video
you even
coming
watched
out.
it?
No, I don't think I have.
You haven't. Agens. What happened to QA?
I trust in the process. Fine.
But let me tell you folks about the newest video coming out on the channel, I believe on Thursday. I think that video has the chance to be amongst the top 5, maybe top 10 best videos on the channel of all time. So when that video comes out, please like, drop a comment, share it. It's going to be a really good one. You guys are going to like it.
Yes. It'll be surprising for me too. But we've been focusing a lot on shipboarding, so yeah. It's going to be a good one.
Does the video have nail clippers? You know what? I can't say whether or not the video has nail clippers, but I can tell you, if you're looking for some really good quality nail clippers and other grooming products, please look up Tweezerman. Tweezerman is honestly
All right. I'm calling it night now. We're going to hopefully leave you guys with an inspiring ending. Thank you for coming along, and I'll catch you all next week. Say bye, Dobbs.
Goodbye. Hello.
Breathe deeply. Consider that ancient religious folk wisdom, feelings are just possibilities on the wrong planet. Making challenges beats making ideas. Raindrops want your soul. Force your body to relax your belly button. Notice the sensation of how your muscles are pulsating. Attempt to breathe through your throat. Keep your eyes shut while thinking about how insanity begins where family ends. Notice how your bodily orifices are drifting away from your belly button. Choose not to own an open mind. Don't talk bad behind the back of a co-worker, just surrender. Repeat to yourself, existence matters, existence matters, existence matters. Act affable. Consider how a great thinker once said, "Behold the false idol, for the false idol riddeth himself of his seed's mother." Try to extend your right hemisphere. Squeeze your eyelids all the way down your spine. Let yourself be guided by the ancient Buddhist folk wisdom, one boyfriend in the garden is worse than two in your mouth.